Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Creative Convos, the podcast. I am your host, Faith Joy, here with you for episode 22, y'all. We rolling. It's getting hot. It's getting good, and I'm just really excited for this specific episode. This episode today is going to be called Becoming Her. It's giving girl talk. It's giving come and just sit on the couch. It's giving what's going on in our lives.
Yes.
It's giving, let's just release some of the things that we are going through, some things that you may be feeling and been going through. You just need some advice from a big sister. This is what this is today. So I am happy to be here. Episode 22, Becoming Her. I have a special guest here with me, Miss Tatiana.
Hello. Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. Before we get into the episode, I want you guys to, one, you already know, go subscribe, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Leave a review if you love me and if you are supporting here, KCP Podcast. I need you to do just that. Before we get into it, though, I'm happy to have you.
I am so happy to be here.
This is like a full circle moment for me because we really grew up together.
Literally.
Really like sandbox days.
Early. Before life started.
Yes.
Before life was life.
Before we became her.
Exactly.
We literally like watched each other grow and evolve. And I wanted to let you know that I'm really proud of you. Like, seriously, you're doing the daggone thing.
I genuinely thank you so much, Faith. I feel the same way about you. I'm happy to even be able to be a part of this platform because it means so much to even get invited, to even be recognized. So I thank you for allowing me to be here. I love everything that's happening, the vibe, the ambiance, everything is A1. So I thank you, and I'm extremely proud of you as well.
Thank you.
Watching
Mo.
your spiritual journey, your business journey, everything has just been amazing.
Thank
Congratulations
you.
to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
No,
Seriously.
We really watched each other become the adults that we are, the mothers that we are, the
Yes.
women that we are. It's been a real beautiful journey. So before we get into because I might cry. let me make
Don't
that
cry.
clear. I might cry today, and I'm okay with that because it's going to be a real transparent, vulnerable conversation. But before we get into all of that, introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Okay. Well, my name is Tatiana. Right now, I am a licensed social worker. I graduated from Morgan State University with my bachelor's degree as well as my master's. Now I have a
Yes.
license. I'm also a twin mom.
Go twins.
Right.
Hey, twins.
Hello, Kinsley and Juwan. Right now, I'm just like really just basking in my career, really just trying to master the level I'm in. I've of course been in the business world before. Not doing that so much right now. I'm really just working on me and excelling where I am right now. But that's who I am in a nutshell.
I love it. And excelling where I am is a gem. Let's
Yes.
make that very clear.
Okay.
Excelling where you are is literally something that we all, not just women, we all needs to grasp.
Exactly.
Like being okay with where you are and really loving where you are in the journey is a beautiful thing. So let's talk about that. Like, how did you get here? Like, to this era, this woman, Tatiana. How did Tatiana arrive to this moment?
So I got to this moment, I feel like by a lot of faith got me to this moment because there were a lot of course, odds stacked against me while I was on my way here. But nonetheless, today, social worker, mom, it just started honestly with nothing. Going to school, I graduated from school, high school with dad, went to city or whatever. I just didn't want to be there. I wanted to be outside. I wanted to party. I wanted to have fun. I just did not know how much I was missing out on by not really investing myself to school and stuff like that. Ultimately, once I graduated, I realized, hey, I'm working in Walmart. I'm only making $9 an hour. What am I doing with myself? And so I was like, what do you want to do? What do you like to do? And I think the norm was CNA, GNA, no shade or nothing like that. It was medical world, do hair. I didn't have a talent. I didn't know how to do hair. At least I thought I didn't have a talent. So I took a step back and I reflected, where do I want to go? In order to graduate from city, I had to apply for school. So I had already gotten accepted into Morgan as well as UMES. And I said, let me tap back into that. And it led me to social work. Okay, at this point now, I'm in social work or whatever. I navigated through school, ups, downs, graduating, and learning independence because it was a lot that happened. I felt like growing up and just having to be independent and stuff like that. But once we got past all of that, my senior year of high school, my senior year of college, I was pregnant and I had 2 babies. And I'm like, I don't want to do this no more. My initial plan was really to go through, get my bachelor's, and then it was to get my master's with the advanced standing program. And I had somebody that was my supervisor, and I was like, I'm just going to take a break. And she was like, don't take a break. Twins literally came out January 12th, and school started back up like January 17th.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my goodness. But I prayed. I went through it. It made sense to just go back, do the advanced standing program and stuff like that. So ultimately, with the help of my support, my people, everybody that was in my life, like special thanks to them. Wouldn't have been nothing without them. I was able to go and get my master's degree.
Beautiful.
Obtained the master's degree. Of course, at this point, the twins are like 1 or so, something like that. And I said, all right, let's lock in. After we get this, we're going to get this license. Social work license is crazy. For anybody that has ever had to get that license is like crazy insane. But nonetheless, by the grace of God, I held on to a lot of faith through that journey, honestly, because the twins' father was in jail. He got locked up at like 13, 15 weeks pregnant. And I was like, I'm having my children. You know, of course, I didn't know that was what the situation was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to immediately come home. But it didn't happen. And I just prayed. I just felt like, you know, talking to and having a lot of conversations with people, I feel like it was like, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. But I'm like, I just know God got me. Like, I just know that it's going to work out. And that was a lot of the conversations I had to have with coming from not wanting to go to school to going to school and things like that. I just knew, like, God is going to make this come to pass. Like, I have to really stay silent and know this going to work out. And
that's key.
It really ended up working out. Like,
wow.
I don't know, like, the support, faith, that's all. Like, my thing always was, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Like, literally, that is my thing right there. Like, I can do everything. I feel like it was a season before I started school, when I was about to move out on my own for the first time or whatever. And it was in South Baltimore. Crazy place, honestly. But I was starting school in East Baltimore. I was going to work in West Baltimore. And my house was going to be in South Baltimore. And I had people, you know, opinions that I asked for, advice and stuff like that. But you have to really pay attention to who you listen to.
There we go.
And take advice that fits you. I had opinions, and it was, maybe you should go to school part-time, because my thing was, I'm about to pick up a new job full-time, and then I'm trying to go to school full-time, and I'm like, how am I about to do this? This is way before the kids. And I was like, I prayed on this. I journaled. Like, oh my God, my season in Walmart, it was really a becoming season for me, because I worked in fabrics and crafts, and we had notebooks and stuff there. So I journaled like crazy. Like, I journaled like crazy. I prayed like crazy. I really, literally wrote the life out and prayed the life out that I live today. Like, it's crazy.
Wow.
I would be making it up if I said anything different. And God was like, that's not for you. Go to school. Do what you got to do. That move came up. I got on a list for a house or whatever the case may be. And it finally came up. It was all perfect timing. And it all worked out. And I was just like, I'm faithful, because I could have went to school part-time. Moving on your own. First of all, I was 18. Going to school, and you don't got to go to college. Who want to go to college? And then starting a whole full-time job, you don't got to do that either. I mean, you know, you can half-step all things, but God said, go full blast with everything, and it's going to work out. And it worked out. Like,
Come on.
Honey, it worked out. Like, my life is a testimony, and I'm very grateful for it. Even all of the everything, every lesson, every obstacle, everything. It worked out. I'm telling you, this life I live today, how I got here, I prayed for it. Like, how I got here, I had faith in it. How I got here, I did not pay attention to opinions. I had to really stand on what me and God discussed. Like, I did. Like,
stand on what? Business.
Literally. I had no choice.
The word, it ain't even business. It's the word. Like,
yes.
The commitment that you made with Christ literally got you to where you are, and you are doing great.
Thank you.
Literally. And I from hindsight, I watch and I pay attention, and I don't, like, let's make this clear. I don't bring anyone into my spaces. And I've literally had you at events.
Yep.
I've had you interview for me at events. We've done so much together, and it's crazy how it's now coming full circle. And you just said behind the scenes, like, this is some of the things that you want to do. And God literally showed you through your life, like, I was making you and grooming you and preparing you for these times. And now look, you literally living out
It's crazy.
what you, and you wouldn't have thought you were going to make that move or have this transition happen at Walmart.
No.
You was writing it, you was planning it, you was walking by faith and not by sight. But at the same time, it's like, dang, will I ever get there?
Is it really a thing? Like, based off where I'm at today, like, is it really a thing? I had no choice but to trust. It's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. Every time. It's gonna work out. I'm not about to stress it. It's gonna work out.
Listen, we starting off strong. We coming in hot.
I'm just saying.
Literally, like, oh my gosh. And the crazy thing is, that's literally the same. It's not the same story, but it's the same alignment as far as blueprint on how your situation came about. My test, I'm not gonna give it all because I've already said it before here.
Let's talk about it. You didn't tell me.
Okay, I didn't tell you. We talking. I forgot.
Let's talk about
so
it.
for me, I was working a job. I had already had case in. I moved out. I was on housing. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was just making it work, right? And I knew I needed more. I knew I wanted more. I knew I wanted to get to a place of stability. That was my biggest thing as far as what I needed my life to look like. I needed stability. I didn't want to keep living in a space where I didn't know what was going to happen next, right? So for me, it was really getting to a place where, all right, Faith, you know what you want. You know what you're capable of doing. You know you have gifts. You know you are called. What are you going to do with that? And I literally was working at a hotel. I'm not going to say the name. I was working at a hotel, and I was with this young lady. I will never forget her. Chantel, if you watch it, I love you. She changed my life. She was like, Faith, write it down. Like, you want to do creative convos, you want to do to be creative, you want to have these events, you want to speak to these women, you want to empower these people, let's do it. And I literally wrote it out, and I was like, okay, I don't want to be here in the next 30 days. Not 30 days, 90 days. I don't want to be at this job. I don't want to be making this amount of money. I want to make this amount of money. I want to go to this place. I want to live in this neighborhood. I want my son to go to this school. I literally wrote it down, and I was like, God, I have nothing but you. I have nothing but you and trusting you and having faith. And it's so crazy. My mother said all the time, Faith, I didn't name you Faith for no reason.
Yeah.
Literally, I didn't name you Faith for no reason. You have to have faith when you have nothing else. Why? Because your name is Faith. So that means you got you. And then you have faith, which is Christ. Exactly. So what else do you need? And full circle, maybe like 2 years later, I left the job. I moved, I found a new place, and everything just kind of just fell into place. Just aligning, literally. And for a person that's listening, I want y'all to really think about that. Like, what are the signs that he's giving you? He's giving you signs. He's telling you what to do. He's showing you what you need to do. The people are the distraction. People are literally a distraction. They want you to not make it. They want you to fail. They want you to quit. But you have to have so much faith in God and so much faith in what you know in order for you to get to your next. Like, that's really a thing.
It's a major key. And I just feel like having you on people are a distraction. And even if they don't want you to fail, I feel like people cast their failures upon you. So what happens is when you do ask certain people for advice, they're only going to be able to give you advice based off of their experiences. So when you ask somebody for advice on this next business venture or this or that, they're going to tell you what they know with their limitations. So you have to be able to take advice with a grain of salt. You know, you have to be able to just really figure out how that fits into your life, I feel like, which is a major key because we have so many people that we love and we trust and we share stuff with. But if you didn't take that time to write down what your goals were, write down what you wanted to be and actually feel it and know, aside from what people might have told you, aside of what you even sometimes tell yourself, because it really getting to the point where, you know, you got to know yourself because, hey, if I'm sitting up here and I'm writing down my goals or whatever, and I know I want to create a podcast, I know I want to create a platform, I know I want to be a speaker, I know I want to be a good mom, I know I want to be in this space, you have to be able to trust yourself and know yourself like, okay, I'm capable of doing that. So I think a lot of it is people. People can distract you, but it's you for allowing those people to distract you. So, hey, I'm not going to spend time in this space right now because it's not feeding me. And right now, I'm locked in. Right now, I'm focused. Right now, I know where I got to go. So, I'm not going to let the people distract me with
That's key.
It's not happening. I don't care what you're doing. And I love you from a distance. And if you love me too,
you would understand.
You're going to understand that I'm trying to go to the next level. You're going to understand that I can't show up to this thing because I'm going to the next level. So then that takes for you to do some type of inventory of the people that's in your life. Because, honey,
inventory.
having on inventory.
Please.
If you don't do an inventory of the people in your life, then you find yourself with a shelf full of people that are expired. They mean nothing. It's not a thing. They're not helping you. It's expired. If you put them into your system and you give them your time and your energy, it's going to spoil you. So now my energy is spoiled. Now I don't want to do it because now you're feeding me all this toxic energy, and I'm not.
I don't
not
even
growing.
have space. I don't have space to receive.
Exactly.
I don't have space to hold this. Literally. And I just said this the other day, Tatiana. I swear to you, I said this the other day to one of my friends. Like, we have to get so serious with ourselves that we aren't willing to let somebody else let our ship sink.
Yes.
Like, you are the ship. God has given you the resources, the tools, the people, the guidelines on where to go, when to sail, when to set shore. Like, he's giving you it day by day, and you choose to abort it. Whose fault is that? You can't blame the people forever. At some point, it is the people, but at the end of the day, it's you. It's a choice that you have to make to say, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do my part regardless of what somebody has to say and who supports it.
I'm going to choose me. You have to choose you.
And
when you have certain ties with certain people, I feel like history is a major thing, right? When you growing, I feel like you have people in your life that have been in your life for a certain amount of time, whether that's your friend, whether it's somebody you're dating, whether it's your parent. Honey, it can be your family member, right? We got this history, and because we have this history, you're constantly tied to me, and you don't want to break that tie because I don't want to go to this next level when I leave you, but sometimes you do got to realize that you can't go. You can meet me there, but you're pulling me down. When you talk about a ship, guess what? Too much cargo is going to pull you down.
Baby.
You can't go. Some people just can't go. And you have to be real with yourself and understand that, like, you can't go with me.
And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Exactly. And I love you, but one day you'll get it, even if it's not today.
And that's okay. That is really okay for me to get to a place where I'm okay with leaving. I really had to come to terms with leaving people where they are.
And where they had you messed up at, I'm going to leave you right there.
Girl.
I'm going to leave you right there.
Bye.
See you later.
Because at this point, what are we talking about?
Nothing.
We keep talking in circles. We keep revisiting the same situation. You keep showing up with the same behaviors. I keep having to forgive you for the same thing that you did 20 times. Why? When is somebody going to wake up and say, like, this is wrong? Like, something's wrong. It's a red flag. Come on, let's talk about the red flags, Top.
Oh,
let's talk about the red flags.
On the red flags.
Let's talk about
red flags in regard to what subject?
Because
they hit different.
Let's talk about the red flags within self.
Okay.
Let's talk about, because we talking about becoming her, and in order for her to get to her full arrival, she had to face some red flags within herself, and then let's also talk about the red flags within our society, like in our environments, people, places, and things.
I got you. Red flags within self, I think, is the most important, right? Because if you don't recognize the red flags within yourself, then I feel like you're never going to recognize the ones in your society. So I think a major key for me in growing and learning, even in this space, is unlearning old habits that don't help me grow. Spending time in the wrong environments that don't help me grow. Having the wrong forms of self-care that don't help me grow. Like, I promote self-care all the time with social work, with therapy. I'm telling my clients, engage in self-care. But it's like, how are you feeding yourself? Somebody asked me today, like, in that field, how you feeding yourself? And it's just like, I engage in self-care, but it's like, which way? So one of my main red flags to me is just like spending time doing the wrong stuff and realizing, hey, I shouldn't have been doing that. Because when I do that thing, or when I do gravitate to that thing, I might be losing my time. I might be losing my energy. Like, you don't want to keep on hanging out. Like, hanging out and socializing, I feel like, is definitely a major key, because you don't want to isolate yourself. But where are you hanging out at? So
that's it.
A red flag within yourself, I feel like, is learning your habits and learn what you gravitate to when you're really stressed out.
That's good.
Because wherever we go when we're stressed, it speaks volume to where we're going to come out at. How you going to come out on the end of this thing. If you are stressed and you are going to a space where you're losing your time, your energy, and your money, then you're not filling yourself back up, so you're still stressed after you leave. For me, it was hanging out. I'm still stressed when I leave. Once I get home, it's like, I'm still feeling this. I'm not pouring into my home. So your own personal red flags is also who you hang around.
Yeah.
When you're up, when you're down, who just around you on a daily basis. So you have to find out, I feel like, what feeds you, what you gravitate towards, And what are some of your habits that you just really need to kick?
Mm.
Because I feel like that's what happens over time and over life. We
It's
just
a cycle.
develop, exactly. We develop these habits, and we're so used to them that we say, "I can't let this go. Like I can't do it. It's so hard." But it's like, no, if you really want that thing for you, then it's difficult. And like when you say environment, it's like I feel like that can be people, places, and things, because your environment is the people around you. It's where you are, things like that. So, like you said earlier, like, I want to live in this space. I want to move into this space. Sometimes, life is expensive and stuff like that. So let's not ever get it messed up. But you have to live in a space that's going to fit where you're trying to go. Because if you don't, then you're constantly around chaos and confusion. So if my goal is to live, let's say in a county or whatever the case may be, I know that I got to turn my hustle up and turn my grind, or I need to look for places outside of what I'm used to. We get so used to looking for things that are in our norm, and you put yourself in a box.
Yes.
I feel like that's a major key. Like, don't box yourself in.
That's good.
When you're trying to go, because if you don't pray and work on getting yourself out of those environments, it's constant red flags. Now you see this going around in your environment. Or guess what? Your neighbor is unhappy. That can be an environmental red flag. Or the place you go to has constant drama and confusion, chaos and confusion. And now that's pouring into you. So now your energy is toxic. So do an evaluation on yourself first.
There we
Peep
go.
your red flags, and let's not see any red flags from people and try to turn them to a different color.
Woo.
Honey, if it hit. Exactly. Like, I'm just saying, if it hit. If you question it and you think it's red, it's red. It's not pink, it's not blue, it's not green.
Baby, it's not another color.
It's not.
It's red. And if it's red, baby, call a spade a spade.
Stop.
Just stop. What's the one sign that we always drive by and you have to stop? A stop sign.
A stop sign.
And what color is it? It's red. So stop playing and act like you don't see it. You've seen it.
Okay.
And I ain't even going to talk about y'all. I'm going to talk about me. I've seen them. I've seen them time and time and time again. Yes. Where I literally see the red flag and I'm like, no, maybe it's green. Maybe it's a little yellow. Maybe,
no, it's not.
maybe I need to slow down and watch it again. No, it's red. And God then told me stop. Mm-hmm. God told me to abort. God told me to run. God told me this is you've been here too long. You've existed in this space too long. You're now being tainted. You're now being put into that box. You're now being placed into an environment where you're outgrowing. You're now being in a space where everything's getting smaller and I'm getting bigger. Why put yourself in that type of situation? And we do it because our mindsets are so connected to the thing that we're in. Mm-hmm. You're so caught up in what it did for you.
It's comfort. You're comfortable. It's easy to be comfortable. It's easy to stay in spaces that you're used to. It's easy to, I know what she gonna do every day. I don't even want to deal with another neighbor. Or I don't even want to deal with another job because it's comfortable for me. And the problem is we're so afraid to get out of our comfort zones that's why you're constantly in this box and you're growing and you hate waking up and going to this job, because the pay is comfortable. You can kind of predict what's going on, but I just think you have to have faith and you have to know that it's okay with not being satisfied and, going for a greater level of life and not staying where it's comfortable, not hanging with the people that's comfortable for you. And I think that we get scared, because me personally, I get scared. I'm still in my same job I was an intern at social work, because I'm scared. Oh my God, I'm gonna go to a big company and their timing is gonna be different, or I don't want to get in trouble. But it's like, if you want to grow, then you have to set goals that you are afraid of and that are uncomfortable for you, because then you don't get stronger. Yeah. You're constantly using these same tools over and over again. At some point, they run dry. So now where you were once oily, now you're dry and you're stiff because you're comfortable.
Baby, the anointing.
You're comfortable.
You need a new badge.
Okay.
God needs to re-anoint.
But you got to feed yourself with new information in order to be able to work new tools for yourself.
You made me think about how God is omnipresent. He's big, he's strong, he's mighty, he's just all of that, right? And he wants to make us just that big. He wants us to be just that good. He wants us to be so stretched that our capacity is so open that we don't know what to do with it. And I think about that for my life all the time. Every time God starts to stretch me, every time God starts to move me in a different direction, I honestly get scared. And I'm like, God, all right, I know you trying to do some good stuff. Like, I be seeing it, like, I see it, and I be like, I can see myself on the stage. I can see myself in the arena. I can see myself touching this amount of people. And I be like, dang, the trauma just popped right in my head. Like, oh, you not ready. Or, oh, that imposter syndrome just hit. And now I'm so faith-filled that it's like nothing. When I mean nothing is going to stop me.
Exactly.
Nothing is going to get in my way unless God tells me to stop. I'm just going to do whatever it takes because he's giving me that green light.
Yes.
He's put me in this place where what I'm capable of doing is bigger than me.
Yes.
And you have to really think about that. Like, your purpose is not just for you. Your purpose is not just for the people you reach on a day-to-day basis. It's so many other people that are connected to this impact. My son, your kids, their kids. Yeah. It's so many, the kids I teach at school, to your clients. Like, it's so many people connected to what we have to say, and we just have to get out of our own way and really tap into what God is saying. When you go back to that paper and you talk about you being at Walmart and you writing it all down, when I go back to the hotel and I talk about me writing it all down, God was already ordaining it. He was already equipping us. He was already sowing the seed. So it's up to us. I think about a scripture, one plants, one waters, then God gets the increase. If he wants increase, he's going to get it.
Exactly.
Because he said one waters, one plants, then God gets the increase. So he's going to get what he wants, whether you like it or not. And you can either choose to not operate in the space, or you can choose to go with him. Why not trust him? What do you have to lose?
When has he failed you?
Baby, he ain't never failed me yet. I failed myself all the time.
Even when you felt like, why am I going through this struggle? Every single struggle that I've ever been through, I've learned from. And I had to really realize, like, you really cannot worry and worship. How am I saying that I'm faithful, but I'm worrying and I'm stressed? But let's just be realistic. That stress and worry is a natural emotion, and it is going to happen, but you just got to be faithful that this thing that you need to come to pass or that you praying for, you just got to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, the place that I live in now, I was trying to move, with the kids. I need a bigger space, X, Y, and Z, right? And what happened was, I applied for this place. They was building this community, and I'm like, I gotta get in here, right? And I just knew, like, this is where I'm moving. It's on my side of town. I'm gonna go into this space, and I actually went to the house while they was building the houses and stuff like that. And I rode around like, dang, I'm gonna be here. Like, I prayed to be here, I'm gonna be here, right? Definitely manifested. Definitely prayed for it. Then we got closer. My lease was up in my apartment, and I'm talking to the lady back and forth, the leasing agent or whatever the case may be. And ultimately, we got to the point where she like, oh, you was denied. But mind you, at this point, I've already let my lease go up and say I'm going to move to a month to month. And, we was changing management companies and stuff like that. But I told her, ma'am, this is where I'm moving to.
Period.
This is the plan that God set for me. What else do you need me to do to move into this space? And what happened? This is what you can do. Because I was so faithful that this is already mine. I could not take a no for an answer. So I feel like when you're trying to grow and when you're trying to go to different spaces, doors are going to be shut, or you're going to get certain no's, or you're going to get obstacles and stuff like that. But when your plan is so solid and when you got crazy faith, a no ain't even going to shut you down. She told me you were denied. I've been living there for the last 2.5 years. Ma'am, I'm what? God, God, get this lady.
Come on.
Get this lady.
Because she was a distraction.
Exactly. You must ain't talk to her yet. But you talk to me, so you're going to have to talk to her about something and let her know that she need to give me these keys so I can have my move-in date, because I'm ready and everybody knows that this is where I'm going, because I was that faithful. And I just think that when you're growing and when you're going and stuff like that, it's like, when you set your plan and when you got faith in you, you cannot worry and worship. So that no didn't give me a worry, because I was already praised and I was already faithful and I already knew that this is where I'm going. It was already set in stone. Like, this is where we're going to go.
Period.
This is where we're going to be. God, we talked about this. So maybe you should talk to her. So when you go in and you trying to, create a business, and I feel like you struggle with some no's or some obstacles and stuff like that, if that's what's set in stone for you, you got to really know you, and you got to be like, oh, no, it's a way around it. Because I already know that man going to talk to me.
Because God already talked to me.
Exactly. And if you get in this like, maybe it's not my season for that. Maybe it's not your season. But just because it's not your season right now and you plan for that to be your season right now, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
That's good.
So it happens, and sometimes stuff is delayed. But it's never denied,
That-
honey. It's
that's
gonna
the
be
word.
yours.
Delayed but never denied.
Never.
You
It's gonna
can't
be
you
yours.
can't be denied if you are assigned to him.
Exactly.
If you are a disciple and a child of God, you it's no denials. You may have to wait. You may have to be a little more patient.
Mhm.
You may have to be groomed and molded into what he's trying to make you into
Mhm.
before you get to where he's taking you. But if he told you, listen, it's already done. You can't stop me.
Mm-mm.
That no didn't do nothing
Honey,
but
it ain't
motivated
faze
you.
me.
Motivated
What
you.
you need me to do?
Come on.
God, call her. Call her, God. Because obviously, she don't know what you sold me. And I need to move into this house because we need the space.
Come on.
And this was something that I would have never envisioned for me today. Being able to take on certain things, bills, even being here today is like really a next level thing because who's to know, okay, now you can go to school for social work or whatever the case may be, but I'm posting tweets every day. And everybody is saying, oh, I needed that. I needed to hear that. But it's like, I never even created the Instagram page to just have my different posting quotes and stuff like that on social media. And it's like, I feel like, all right, you know what? I'm actually going to go on this podcast and I'm going to actually have a conversation because that could just build up my momentum.
Yeah.
You know, that could build up my courage to do something that I'm afraid of because at the end of the day, when you do want to do different things and you're comfortable, I'm comfortable with the tweets. I can write out what I got to say. I don't know if I really know how to say stand on business, lock in. Can I really say that to a camera?
Wow.
Because for me, I'm typing it. And
That's
I might have my
different.
days. Exactly. It's a next level thing, but I know I can have conversations with people. So I just feel like you're placed in positions that you don't even know that you're supposed to be in to go to your next level because we don't know what this might unlock next. But you have to not turn down opportunities if it's in your lane or even if it's not in your lane and it fits true to you. I just feel like you got to be able to, let me try that. And we be so scared to try stuff because it's on my comfort zone. You know, we be so scared to not, I don't really want to hang out with that person because that's not really the vibe of people I hang out with. The people that I hang out with in today's time are not the people I grew up with. Yeah, high school, but like it's just different.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you have to be okay with changing your environment. When we talking about red flags in your environment, you have to be okay with changing your environment and letting new energy into your space because sometimes that new energy is going to hit way different than the old energy. And it's going to push out the old energy. It's going to help you filter energy. It's going to help you filter your own personal self, your self-care and stuff like that. So
That's
it's just
good.
like, you got to be okay with going up, trusting, and moving forward and just not letting nobody tell you no. Oh.
If it ain't God, it ain't happening.
Exactly. So what are you talking about?
If he told me, if he already gave me that yes, then you can't give me a no.
Exactly. It's set in stone for me already.
Literally. Woo. Topping,
it's set in stone for me already.
This is good, y'all. Listen, let's take a little moment to inhale, exhale, because this is good. If you are watching me right now on Instagram, if you're watching me on YouTube, if you found this on your homegirl feed, listen, make sure you go and subscribe to my YouTube. Creative Convos podcast with Faith Joy. I need you guys to listen. This conversation is top tier. This is a whole nother level, next level girl talk. So I need you to make sure that you subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms so that you can be tuned in every time something new comes out.
Yes.
How you feeling, Top?
I feel really good. I was very nervous coming in, but I feel really good about it. So, how you feel?
I feel good. I'm loving this. I can stay here all day.
Yes, it's real cool, calm and collect. It's just really giving, I'm having a conversation with one of my people, and I don't mind talking. I will talk your head off all night. I don't care where I go. I will talk your head off. You'll ask me something, and I'll ask you something. We'll go back and forth. So I feel really good, comfortable. I'm happy that I'm here today.
Thank you. Let me ask you this: when you think about becoming her, what part of your life did you realize? You talked about your schooling and once you were already an adult, but let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
Go back to childhood and things that you went through when you are, let's say, 16-year-old Tatiana. When did you realize at 16, 17, 18 that you were ready to shift? You were ready to go into a new phase of life and that who you were was no longer who you wanted to be?
You really want to know?
I do. They want to know.
Ooh, okay. Well, if y'all really, really, really want to know. 16-year-old Tatiana was lost. 16-year-old Tatiana was chasing the scene. 16-year-old Tatiana did not want to go to school. 16-year-old Tatiana did not go to school. Okay? I had a 0 point nothing GPA. And I went to
Wow.
Baltimore City College High School, okay? But I was outside. I was on a scene. My boyfriend that I had at the time didn't go to school. Mind you, I'm a teenager. You think you grown. I dealt with a lot of struggles with my mom, with my parents. My living situation just wasn't ideal, but I did have people in my life that were able to uplift and support me. But 16-year-old Tatiana was on another level, okay? But it took for a really crazy, crazy, crazy life situation. And for me to have a conversation, I think I had a conversation with my dad, and he was like, Tatiana, live your life, honey. Like, live it. Like, they've already lived their life. Like, you have to live your life. And it was like in that moment, I was still lost. I didn't listen to my friends. They was like, go to school. Why you ain't come to school? And I just was like, I don't need school. I don't want to go to school. I was real, I don't care. I'm outside. I want to be outside on the scene. I just wanted to live this. Oh my God, I don't know what I was doing, right? I was in the mix. I wanted to hang with the guys. I wanted to be on the streets. I just wanted to do stuff. And I was already in a blue ribbon high school, a college preparatory school. And I was sitting up there and letting that opportunity pass me by. And until today, I'd be like, dang, I really fumbled that bag. Or at least I was fumbling in that season. Yeah. But it's never too late to get it back together. But nonetheless, I just had a wake-up call. And I was like, if you do not put your foot forward, and if I do not make the changes that's needed, I will not succeed. So it took for me to like go through those struggles, to really have nothing, to have to hustle to try to get a car, to hustle try to live. I started working at McDonald's, and that was like, my sister pushed me to go to work, get your stuff together, make your own money, or whatever the case may be. That's what I started to do, but I still was kind of distracted. I had to get rid of those distractions. I had to get rid of those people. I was calling my friends school friends. Like, literally, my friends that I have today, that's my dear close friends, I'm like, oh, I'm with my school friends. Oh, I'm in school with my school friends. School was just not a thing for me. But once I finally realized that if I didn't get my stuff together, then I would fail, or I would be like the people who I see every day. If I didn't realize that, I feel like I still would be there. And it just took for me to hustle. It took for me to go up. It took for me to pray. It took for me to lock in. Like, girl, go to school. Like, what was you about to do? Your whole life was just about to be over just now. Like, you had a lot of crazy near-death experiences. Like, girl, get your stuff together. And once I came to that realization, and I said, you know what? I'll get on the bus like a normal high school student. I didn't even want to catch the bus to school. I wanted to catch a hack. Hacks was a thing before Uber and Lyft and all of that. Exactly. I want to catch a hack. I was going from west to east. I was like, you know what? I'm going to catch a 22 at Mondome and I'm going to go to school. And I locked in. And so many of my friends were so shocked to see me graduate because I was never there. Wow. I didn't go. It wasn't a thing for me. I did not care about school. It's so shocking that I was able to matriculate through that, graduate, actually walk across stage. I couldn't go to prom though, okay? That was where I really messed up at, because your grades had to be at a certain place. So I never experienced prom. And that was like, wow, I really gave up my high school experience to chase nothing. And it get to the point in life where you gotta stop yourself, and pray that you can stop yourself soon enough to realize that I'm chasing nothing. That's and it's good. Feeding me nothing. And that's it's good. Doing nothing for me. By the grace of God, I was able to do a flip. And I was able to go through high school year, working, graduate, stuff like that. But even after I graduated, I told you, that was Walmart season. What do you do? I graduated. All right, that's done. I'm chilling. I'm working. This is not enough.
What's the word I'm looking for? Complacentness.
Very complacent. I was okay because all I had to do, my household, was go to school, go to high school, and graduate from high school. It was nothing more. Wow. Nobody else in my family graduated college. So that was not nothing that was on my back. They could literally, I don't want to say care less, but they didn't set that goal for me to have to complete because nobody else did it. They supported me all the way through. But that's why I feel like growing and, really being a mom, and there's levels to what you got to do. You ain't got to go to school, but, like, you have to really go hard and, like, instill certain stuff into your children or instill certain stuff into your family because, like, if your children are not looking at that thing, I didn't look at that, so that wasn't my goal until I started looking at my friends. Like, dang, all my city friends, they went to school. Why am I here? So I became an outcast when I was, like, something. The kids thought I was something because, she grown or whatever the case, but I was an outcast because that wasn't my life. And I'm realizing, like, girl, what you doing?
Wow.
What you doing? Flipped it around. It all ended up working out because I just had to get my stuff together. So, but baby, 16-year-old me,
She was outside.
16-year-old me was on another level. Oh my god, that'll be for another. That'll be
Another
episode 222. That'll be that episode, but baby,
she was outside.
I was definitely outside.
And you again, we just said this on last episode. God knows how to just like bring it full circle and just show you yourself.
Yeah.
Like, dang, all of this. I had to go through all of this and experience all of this to get to this.
Yeah.
And now you're at a place where you're like, God, I thank you. Like, it made me who I am today. Becoming her is literally going through the journey. It's going through trial and error. It's tough. It's scary as hell.
Yes.
Okay? It's not nothing for the weak. And we have to really realize, like, us giving you this, us being vulnerable and transparent and just sharing our stories is literally for the person that's watching and that's listening, that's struggling. You can get to this place. And we aren't where we want to be completely.
Not at all.
But we are a lot further than we were at 16. I know for me, 16, I was a hot, funky mess, baby. You couldn't tell me nothing. Faith,
right. How did you do the flip, babe?
Out, girl.
How did you do the flip? Like, how did you do the flip?
I was hot pocket. Like, anything that was hot, I wanted to get involved in. If it was the boys, if it was the girls, if it was the party. I was a party promoter. I was a party promoter.
How did that go? How did that go for you? Was they lit?
I don't even know. They was lit, baby.
Okay.
We was what was the song? Yeah, I got that sway.
Y'all was
yeah, we was doing all that. We was doing all that. And
Definitely.
I don't know who I thought I was, baby, but it just shows me that I had the voice. It shows me that I could draw the people. It showed me that I had the capability of being a leader. But I just was utilizing it in the wrong way. I was going home drunk as a skunk at 16, driving my mother BMW truck, thinking I was the SHIT.
And I'm that girl.
I was that girl, and you couldn't tell her nothing. But now I come back to it, and I'm like, baby, what was you doing? You made $1,200 at 16, and 2-3 days later you got $0. You got all these great connections, and you partnered with all these big time people, and you broke. You ain't got no car. You ain't got no pot to piss in. At 18, now let's go graduate. We didn't go to 18 and 19, and I'm still outside, and I still think I'm the stuff, and I'm still fumbling the ball. It really took for me to really, like, hone in and really see, like, you can't do this on your own. You keep trying to do this on your own, and you literally can't. It's proven. It's shown in the data. Statistics of Faith Joy's life is showing that you cannot do this on your own. And I gave my life over to Christ at 19 again. And I got baptized, rededicated my life to Christ. And in that moment, I didn't realize what the transformation was happening. I didn't understand the seriousness of the walk. I feel like I knew who Christ was before 19, but I actually grew a relationship with him at 19 when I got baptized, and I really started to seriously take him serious. Not church, not going to church, not playing church, not being at church. No, like, I really had to. It was days where I would go hungry. It was days where my mother was out drugging and on the streets, and I'm in the house trying to figure out what I'm gonna eat and what's how the lights gonna stay on. It was moments where I had to go get my first place was for me and my mom. It wasn't even my first place, and I got that first place. And I'm like, I don't even know what bills are. I don't know how to pay a bill. I don't know how to manage money. I don't know what credit is. I was not exposed to any of that. So it really hits home when I talk about those things, because this is really my life. Like, I worked hard to get here. I really made a lot of sacrifices. I really had to bend over backwards and bite my tongue for a lot of things to get to where I am. So now you think I'm gonna shut up?
Exactly.
Now you think I'm gonna keep quiet? Are you crazy? I've earned this right to speak and share my story. I've earned this right to really do what I do and do it with peace, with tranquility, with true revelation and understanding that God gave me this gift. And in this, I have to do his work.
Exactly. And you have to be okay with your story and your testimony, because I think that is what's the most important thing for me. And And I was asked today when I was gonna get my makeup done. I went to get my makeup done. I was like, I'm going to podcast. I'm super duper nervous and stuff like that. And it was crazy. But now as I'm sitting here thinking about it, she was like preparing me for the podcast. She was like, okay, what do you do? And then this is casual makeup conversation. Well, why did you choose social work? And I'm telling her, like, well, ideally, my thing was in addictions, because my focus was in addictions and messes because of what I dealt with my mom, what I dealt with my family. Like, that was how I really got to social work. And it wasn't just, this is just what I want to do. Is I had to learn how to navigate, like you said, how to deal with a mom that was not able to show up for me. But I also had to get to the point once I got older to know she was dealing with something that was far deeper than me. And because of what she instilled in us, this is in L season when we was growing up, when L mothers was doing their thing, dressing nice, pulling up, popping out. We was spoiled little kids until we had that gap. And it was like, that made me value the lifestyle that she set for me. So I kept praying for it. 11:11 was my thing for so long. Like all of those 11:11 make a wish. My wish was, God, please get my mother together.
Wow.
For every single 11:11. It's crazy because now 11:11, I see 11, oh, it's 11:11 make a wish. But my 11:11s was real intentional because that was my goal, to please get this lady together. And I was 17 years old when I graduated. And that was one of the main reasons why I didn't want to go to school. You don't want to go to work, I ain't going to school. I'm mad at you.
What example are you setting?
Exactly. And it had me so mad, and it had me feel like I didn't have to do anything. I was 17. When I went to high school graduation, I was already living on my own.
Wow.
Type thing. Like, I didn't have a choice. Like, I had a support system, but I ain't have a choice. So that's why certain stuff means so much to me right now, and my life, and being a good mom, and trying so hard not to fumble. You know what I mean? Trying so hard to stay locked in and set values is like, honey, I ain't have a room until I bought my own room at 17. I slept with somebody my whole life. Now I can pick a room. Which one you want to sleep in tonight?
Listen, they don't get it. Listen, honey. I thank you for sharing that. First of all, let's start there. Honey,
I felt like that as well, because
I felt like I was gonna cry. I told y'all I was probably gonna cry, and I'm not trying to, but for real though, y'all don't understand how hard it is. Like, to become this girl, it was not easy. It was not a walk in the park. It's not like camera action once these cameras go off. Honey. Listen, it's a real life struggle. Like, I resonate with everything you said because we had the same story. You know that. We had, growing up, we had the same situation. We watched our mothers get it how they live. Let's just say it like that.
However they live.
However they had to make it happen, they made it happen. But I thank God for that, because it just showed me that I don't want to be that.
Yes.
I refuse to let my son see me be like that. Yes. And it's not taking away from the parent that my mother is, because I thank God for my mother on a daily. Like, Tammy was good to me. She made sure I had everything, but she wasn't there for me. So being there for my son is top line, one of a kind priority. Like, I can't fumble the ball. He can't see what the hood look like.
Exactly.
He can't stand on the block. He can't see the drugs. He can't see the environment that I come from. I ain't even ever took him around the way. That's the crazy part.
Oh, I'm scared to take my kids to certain side of town, honey. I said, you don't got to tell me.
It's really serious. Like, for the girl that's listening, I really want you to know, like, this is not for play. This is not a moment of us just sitting here talking about nothing. We talk about what we've been through. Yes. We're talking so that you don't have to go through it. Listen to the heat of the advice. When advice hits your door, when someone comes knocking and say, I want to help you, and they don't know you, which is us, listen, because it's literally your opportunity to get out. It's literally your escape plan. It's literally God saying, I'm sending you an answer. Yes. And we are testaments that it don't have to end the way that it started. It doesn't have to end the way that what it looks like don't have to always be what it is. Man.
And sometimes you got to take just that little thing, I feel like, that you learned. And you have to keep that in the back of your mind each time. I'm telling you, I prayed so much for my mom to get it together. Like, I prayed so much. I prayed so much for my mom to get her stuff together. And like you said, my mother, a good mom, even through her addiction, she's a great mom. Let me not say that. My mother still called me every morning to wake me up to go to work, and I still don't get to work on time. She all my uniforms every day. You understand what I'm saying? I still don't get to work on time today. But it does not take away from, one, the pain you felt, how you felt about it. It doesn't take away from trying to make that relationship better and trying to make yourself better, not wanting to show up as a parent that you had in the past is okay with your children. You know what I mean? That's totally fine. Like it's literally nothing wrong with that. But it's like, you do have to realize that when you're dealing with people, whether it's your parents, your family, or whatever, I think it's like, you gotta know, like, they was dealing with something that was way deeper than me. Yeah. So you couldn't show up for me because what you was going through was way deeper than me. This parent could have been dealing with abuse. This parent could have been dealing with mental abuse, like mental, physical abuse, domestic violence. You just never really know what your parent was going through because there's a lot of stuff we go through behind the scenes that our kids that we don't tell them. But guess what? Sometimes we don't even realize our energy is off and they feeding off of that energy and stuff like that. So it's like when you all dealing with people, that's why I always think real deep, and realize like, you know what? You might be dealing with something that's deeper than me, but it's like growing up, I had to be told by my father, like, baby, you can't not go to school because your mother ain't going to work. Live your life. You know what? Let me go. And you know what? Guess what? I'm going to go to school and I'm going to make sure my mother's straight. Like you said, your first time getting an apartment, I'm getting an apartment for me and my mother. But that's because your mother set those values and those morals inside of you so you can know what it was like to really live a good life. That's why you driving around in the BMW while you hanging out. Because your mother set that stuff in stone for you, whereas though this the life we gonna live, baby. I'm fumbling right now, but what's gonna happen is you're gonna get to that again. We're gonna go up again. So if that just take for you to, step in right now, you step in, but it taught you how to be a mom. It taught you how to hold your stuff down. That it really taught you how to be the person you are today. And then it got to the point where I gotta feed myself with something different. I gotta feed myself. So now let me go to church, but let me build on my spirituality. Let me pray. Let me really lock in. And like you said, it's not all about church. It's really heavy on building your spirituality. And like I said, that 11-11 every day, one day I pray to God, like, God, Jesus, please get this stuff together. But because of what your mom was able to teach you, because of that life that we live for that short period of time that we was able to live it, I know for me, before the gap, I'm like, man, we are going to reach this level again, even if everybody in my life gave up. Even if everybody in my life gave up on my mother, I was with her. We is going to lock in, girl. What you need? How you need me to show up?
Hey, Tati.
I'm just saying, it's like we learned a lot of stuff from it. You know what I mean? And like I just feel like as a mom today, even taking time I need away from my kids to myself, so that they don't see that struggle. I try to not fall too deep into my sadness or my depression. It took forever to not for me to just come out of the postpartum depression. Like, honey, that's a different emotion right now.
Is it?
It's tears. It's crying. I'm crying when the twins crying. I had 2 babies at one time. I'm crying when the twins crying, but it's like, it's a process. Learn from the people that's teaching you. Show up for the people that show up for you and accept the help when you can. And I just think that, with our parents probably growing up in a different era, it looked a lot different, and you want to show that you're strong so bad, and not having these spaces to be vulnerable messes you up, because now I got to lock myself in a room, and now I got to try to cope with drinking, or I got to try to cope with using drugs, or I got to try to numb this pain because I got to look like the strong person. So even though I'm the strong person today, or, we're working on being strong people, like, I'm going to let you know, baby, this is a hard day for me. I ain't going to hold you.
That's the difference between us and them.
Exactly, because I can't show weakness. So imagine not being able to show weakness, then you break. Because you're trying to be so strong. You break. And your broken point just looked a lot different than what our breaking point might look like today. So it's like, it's understanding those people that hurt you.
Ooh.
It's crazy.
This. We got to do a part 2, Top.
I think we should.
We had to, because we just started going into a whole nother lane
Definitely.
that was just that's just the surface, and I know
but coming her take a lot of understanding of other people around her.
You gotta dig up the dirt. You gotta get busy. You gotta start digging. Like, oh my God, this trauma happened. Then what happened? What's the root of that? Oh my God, I experienced this. What's the root of that? Oh my gosh, I've been through this. Why did this happen? Except for just throwing more dirt.
Yes.
Our parents threw more dirt. They threw dirt on top of dirt, on top of dirt, on top of dirt, on top of another pile, and never really got to the root of the problem. Never really dealt with the real crevices of why am I even like this?
Yes.
Because their parents did it, and then their parents did it. It's just a cycle.
Mental health wasn't a thing.
It was not.
The strong black woman had to be. You got to be.
You
strong.
just had to be strong and black. You didn't get a therapist. You didn't get a space to talk about it.
Too strong, and then you cracking. And so now you look broken.
They say black don't crack, but
it break down though. It sure break down. It sure break down, honey. And it might not look black no more, but it sure break down. Whatever they say happened with it. But definitely, I'm happy we was able to. I think we definitely should lock back in and talk about that. Though, major key, I feel like is a lot of that. Oh my God, the past, the history, the trauma, the stuff that people thought you didn't hear, the people that said stuff to you, even on your process of when you had to be mature and take care of you and your family. And when I had to do the same, and people told me I was too grown, no, I didn't have no choice but to be.
You don't even get that.
You're going to praise me because you don't have no choice but to praise me because I'm going to shed my light on you and I'm going to be humble in my most humble and respectful way. But it's like now people don't have no choice but to respect you. They didn't understand what you went through. Yeah, and some people don't. So
we going to run this back. We going to run this back. Y'all, this has been good. Tatiana, you've literally, this is probably my favorite episode, y'all. I'm not even gaslighting her at all.
For
like
real,
this
I'm
is
happy.
This is literally, I really love spaces like this. Like this is full transparency. This is just us just releasing. We just conversing with each other. No filter, just raw, real, and true conversation that people really, really, really need. I dare you send this to your mom, and I dare myself send it to my mom.
Yes,
because they need to really hear it. They need to hear it. So y'all, listen. I told y'all this is gonna be a good one. This has been an amazing episode. Episode 22.
Yes.
Becoming Her with Faith Joy and Tatiana. I am literally just over the hills thankful for you being here. I pray that you come back. We got to do like a series or something. I
thank you for having me. Honey, I'm over the top happy with this right here. It was amazing. I cannot wait to just go in depth more. You know what I mean? I just genuinely appreciate the space because I genuinely feel like people need to hear this stuff.
Yes.
And I talk to a lot of people that's traumatized by parents and feel like they can't grow. And even to this day, people I feel like I didn't have a mom. Or I feel like I didn't have a dad. People need to hear it. So I thank you for this space. I thank you for this environment.
Yes.
And, I genuinely do pray, for all of the people that are listening. And I do want you guys to tap into your mental health. It's okay to get a therapist. It is okay to speak to somebody about your problems. Pick a person that you trust and that you don't mind being vulnerable with and open up to that person. Be realistic. Look in the mirror. Do a lot of self-reflection because a lot of our problems are based on us. And sometimes when people hurt you, there's one takeaway is understanding that people are going through stuff that are a lot deeper than you. And they don't realize they're hurting you all the time. But don't let people keep hurting you. But sometimes people are going through stuff that's a lot deeper than you. People don't mean to hurt you, but it's okay to express that. It's okay to tell them that. It's okay to grow from your trauma. It's okay to turn your trauma into a career. I just talked about it. Whereas though you're helping other people and you don't mind opening up and giving some of that information and continue to write your testimony. This struggle season right now, this chapter can be the struggle, but the next chapter can be you getting out of that struggle. And the chapter after that can be you telling somebody about how you got out the struggle. And the next chapter can then be then telling them how they listened to you when they got out their struggle. So listen, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are. Keep going and fill yourself up and surround yourself with people that's feeding you and spaces that feed you.
Yes.
Listen to podcasts. Fill your soul. Build your spiritual relationship with God or whoever your higher power is, however you do it. But just keep going. I just want everybody to know to keep going, and you can do that thing. Don't let social media make you feel like you're not big enough, Yvonne.
Come on.
Because social media is a major key. So
listen.
We all have a story.
This is just so good, y'all. I'm full. I'm happy. I'm on a cloud, and I'm gonna stay up here all night long. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, episode 22 becoming her. We will be back with a part 2. It might give series. It might give multiple different topics. We don't know. Tatiana might just have to come and just sit on the couch and get comfortable
let me
again.
Come back.
What you call it? We said this was creative.
It's cozy convos. It was giving cozy convos.
Yes, I love it. Stay tuned for the next episode. I love you guys so much. Follow us on social media. What's your social media? Real quick.
It's just _Tatiana1. @_Tatiana1.
@_Tatiana1. I love you guys so much. Stay tuned till next week. Bye.
See you.